guys, welcome back to my channel and thanks for tuning into this video on secrets of the Gemini guy. Before we get into it, I'd just like to remind you, you're always free to hit the like and subscribe button. It would really help me out and I'd really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's get into the Gemini guy. So the Gemini guy, when you first see him, I don't know why, but this sign, whether it's a guy or a girl, has always really intrigued me. There's just like this sparkle about them, or there's just something, maybe because I'm a Capricorn and I'm considered quite plain. Gemini to me just seems full of life and almost like the Tinkerbell if you were a girl, or the Peter Pan if you were a guy. There's just always something about them. I find like this devious look on their face. I mean, if you meet one, it almost looks like the look on their face is that they've got their hand in the cookie jar. They've been caught with their hand in the cookie jar. They're just the youths and the effervescent youngs of the zodiac. So going back to their appearance, oftentimes what you'll notice is their eyes. They just have this mischievous look in their eyes, almost a pixie-like look or an impish look, I guess, because we're talking about men here. But they just have a sparkle to them. Physically, their planet Mercury rules the hands. So oftentimes Gemini men, their hands are going to be very attractive. If you're someone like me who's actually attracted to hands, it's a bit odd, but their hands and their fingers will often be long and just very nice to look at. If they wanted to get into piano, they'd be excellent piano players. Their hands are just very elegant and very aesthetically pleasing. So stylistically, they're often quite fashionable, but it's going to be an effortless style. I mean, they aren't totally concerned with labels to the same extent that a Taurus would be. They're very good at just kind of working with what they have outfit-wise. Okay, so moving on to the Gemini's personality, the Gemini male's personality. Like I previously said, he's a bit of a Peter Pan of the zodiac, so he's not going to be in a huge rush to settle down. He's very charming. This guy is the charmer of the zodiac. He's considered the messenger. Mercury rules communication. So this guy is going to be excellent at information gathering and words, and this is going to be the guy that's going to Google everything and research everything. He's going to be amazing to debate with and spar with. Be careful if you debate with him, because he might one-up you with just all the facts that he has. This is a guy, Gemini is a guy that just loves facts and information and data, and he's very good at it. So he loves words. He could be an excellent writer. He could be into screenplays. Like if he goes to the movies, it's not so much for the visual, it's for the script, and he just lives for information. And he's going to be the guy that prides himself on, you know, knowing gossip firsthand or news firsthand. He might have been the first one to tell you, you know, that Kobe Bryant, as unfortunate and tragic as that was, he was probably the first one to tell you. Like, he really prides himself on knowing what's going on in the world. He's very smart, he's very sharp. Now, going with this sharpness and, you know, just this general zest for being on top of everything, he can be a bit devious, if you will. I mean, this is where the twin comes out. I should have said that earlier, but Gemini is the twins. So he does have two sides to him. Some people might call him a trickster, but it's never from a place of malice or intent. I like to think of Gemini as the Pinocchio of the zodiac. Pinocchio, if we knew his sign, he would be a Gemini. He likes to fib, he likes to expand on the truth, but you look at him and he's this innocent puppet. I mean, he's not doing it, he can see all sides of the world. I mean, with Pinocchio, he was just so full of wanting to become alive and wanting to experience everything that the world has, and he didn't even really know that he was lying. However, he was. I definitely think a Gemini guy is similar to Pinocchio in that way. So a Gemini loves to chit-chat. I mean, shooting the shit is kind of the phrase geared for Gemini males. They love to chit-chat, they love to banter back and forth. They can be a bit mind-gamey-ish. I'll get more into him in love in a little bit, but they love the mind. They love mind games. It's almost like a chess game to them. They love kind of pushing your buttons and figuring out how to get one up on you, if you will. Okay, so let's talk about the Gemini guy in love. This guy is very interesting in love. He is someone who craves variety, which is good. It is very good, but he can get bored a little easily. He wants someone that can bring the flavor and the variety, and he wants someone that he can't quite pin down and that will always kind of keep him guessing. That's what he really craves and lives for, because he has these two personalities, the twins, that are always you know, coming to the surface. He's not sure which one he wants to satisfy. So this is a sign that you don't have to be afraid of to bring maybe some of the craziness. I mean, I know that sounds funny, but say with other signs like a Capricorn or an earth sign like a Taurus or a Virgo, if you bring out some of the crazy, they're going to be like, what the hell? With a Gemini, they're almost going to get turned on by it. I mean, to a degree, you know, don't go keying his car or anything. But what I'm saying is that you can be your true self and show those different sides of you, and he's going to actually like it. Now, because he does get bored easily, monogamy and long-term commitment can be a bit dicey for him. He's not, he's either 100% in or he's not. Once he commits, he's good, as long as you keep the flavor going. But before he commits, he's easily distracted. He really is. And there's lots of beautiful things in this world to be distracted by, so you can't really blame him for that, but he is very easily distracted. So don't take it personally if you're dating a Gemini guy and, you know, he kind of flips his mindset from day to day, or, you know, it's just kind of part of who he is. It's those two twins that I keep going back to. The different personalities. One wants to be on the straight and narrow and 100% in, and the other one's always like, but wait, come on, there's so much more out there that we have to experience. So that reflects in his personality. Another thing about Gemini guys, because there's almost this inner battle between the two twins, they do oftentimes get anxious. They don't like to show it or admit it, but they do suffer, you know, to certain degrees. Some of them suffer, some of it's not a huge issue, but a lot of them will suffer with social anxiety. They do like to put forth this happy-go-lucky, carefree aura, so if those twins are, you know, dueling back and forth inside of them, they will get anxious, and these are the types that will kind of flee a social situation. I've had several Gemini friends, both male and female, and if they're in a social situation that's awkward, or, you know, a board meeting, or you can just feel their anxiety, and they, rather than deal with it, which is hard to deal with, I'm not saying, you know, it's easy, they will generally flee the situation and just flee the location to kind of deal with their feelings and their feelings of anxiety by themselves. They would rather just vacate the premises and deal with it. So, like I keep saying about the twins, he will really love being around you, but a Gemini is a sign that likes space. He actually does exceptionally well with long-term relationships. He likes having you there, but knowing that you're at a distance, if that makes any sense. So if you do get into a long-term relationship and you do marry a Gemini, he's going to be the type that wants his man cave, his own space that he can retreat into and just kind of know that, you know, he has his loved ones there, but he has his own space around him. So, you know, whether it's his office where he can read, Geminis often like books because they're so into words and communication, or, you know, a man cave, like where he can maybe play video games. He needs his own space. So one thing, if you're dating a Gemini, I think it's really important to recognize this, and if he does pull away, don't take it so seriously, you know, give him the space, and what you do when you give him space is you actually make him want you more. It's funny with a Gemini, but give him the space and he will crave you and want you that much more, and he will come after you that much more. Okay, let's talk about the Gemini guy in the bedroom. This guy is known to be a bit of a sweet talker. He's the type that can generally sweet talk the pants off of a lady. You know, not to say that he's not interested for the long haul, but he is a very sweet talker. Again, it comes down to the words. He loves words and he's very good at using them. He likes figuring out what you like to hear also, and then saying it to you so that, you know, he can seduce you. He likes to be thought of as a seducer. Again, the hands. He's known to be very good with his hands. Yeah, it's one of his favorite, or not one of his favorite, but one of his best skills in the bedroom is he knows how to use his hands. Take this for what you will with how you can use that to your advantage. I mean, what can you do with his hands that might turn him on without getting too explicit here? What else can I say? He loves dirty talk. This is the time to not hold back. You know, if something is feeling great, or even, you know, the world is your oyster with dirty talk. You can look into that, and that's a different video, but he will go crazy for dirty talk. Because he is very smart, and he gets off on kind of communication. If you can tell him maybe what some of your dirty secrets are, you know, and because like I said before, he prides himself on knowing information that no one else knows. If you can, you know, let him know this fantasy you have that maybe no one else has you've never told anyone else, he's gonna love that, and he's gonna want to create that fantasy with you, and that's going to be very, a huge turn on for him. So Gemini is good in the bedroom. Okay, so my top tips and the last facts I'll leave you with are some tips on how to win the Gemini over. So like I said, you want to give him space. You want to understand that he has two sides to him. He has a side that's going to want to be very close to you, and he has a side that's going to need his space. So give him his space, appeal to his smart side, appeal to his, you know, ability to gather information and research, stay up on current events, and you can banter back and forth with him. He's going to be really impressed if you can debate with him, if you show an appreciation for the facts and the data that he's able to store, and keep stuff interesting. You don't want to be you don't want to be predictable. That's what Geminis do not like, is predictability. So, I mean, don't be someone that you aren't. I mean, don't go out of your way to, you know, to change who you are, but keep things fresh, keep things interesting. I might do a whole other video down the road on ways to do that, but kind of keep him guessing. And I'm sure, you know, it depends on your relationship and the guy that you're with, but you'll be able to figure it out, what to do to keep him guessing. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it so much. Like I said, if you want more, hit subscribe. I would love if you smash the like button, and I will see you next time, guys. Bye!